Eastern Kentucky, where I was raised, where the wildlife and mountains call my name. I was born to hunt, I was born to guide, a camouflage on a rifle by my side. Just good old country boys chasing dreams in the Appalachian Mountains, a field of trees. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks there on the run. Where those dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. The coyotes run all night. It's music to my ears and in my sights. I've got this hunting fever down in my bones. Glad my daddy taught me everything I know. From those white-tailed bucks to strutting toms, the bugling elks are on the run. Where dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. From those white-tailed bucks to strutting toms, the bugling elks there on the run. Where dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. The TLC Outfitters is our name.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday night. Welcome to On Air and Outdoors with TLC Outfitters. We appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. Hope everybody's had a great start to the week. Hopefully, all had a great weekend, and we appreciate you tuning in. If you've not done so, please like and share this video. Get the word out there about all things On Air and Outdoors. My name's Trinity, and as most of the time, we're joined by Mr. Woolwine himself when he ain't on the road and busy. But looks like you may be on the road tonight, buddy.
I'm on the road, buddy.
Always into something, man.
At least I'm here.
That's right, man. We appreciate you very much. We got a very special guest tonight. We're going to be talking to our good friend, Gary Grant from Grace Elk Outfitters, and we're going to be talking all things elk, folks. We're going to be talking about elk tactics. We're going to be talking about practice for your hunt. We're going to be talking about elk calling. We're going to be talking about all things elk. This is our elk show, the prelude to the upcoming Kentucky elk season coming up in just a little over a month. So hope y'all enjoy. We appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. We got some folks already with us tonight. Of course, our number one fan, my mama, says hello. Thank you for tuning in. Gator Paul, hope y'all, I know y'all are probably pretty soggy down there, babe. I hope that y'all didn't get too much of old Debbie down there And I hope everybody is safe to all of our Florida friends and family. So appreciate it very much, man. Been another hot week, and the old Coyote saga continues. And I'll be honest with you, man, they've been kicking our tail.
Yeah, they've been getting after us pretty good. I'll tell you, man, I need a break. You know, they putting a whooping on me here recently, so I'm taking a little bit of break. Give them a couple of weeks and maybe not burn their ears up too bad. But you know, if y'all seen my post I made the other day, me and Jill used one of those non-coyote hunting nights to cook up a little stingray the other night. So thanks to everybody down there in Florida that helped out with our bow fishing trip when we were down there. Captain Justin Diamond and Paul Shear for processing everything, and of course Hacienda Hagabus, Wayne Hargabus for putting us up in his house, and Scott, our friend Scott Sumter down there for showing us the ropes on some other things. So man, it's always a good time down there. Like I said, them coyotes been kicking our tail up here, so we took a break, cooked up some good stingray, and man, had a delicious meal. So just shout out to everybody down there in Florida during this bad weather. So
we talk all the time about our adventures, but we sometimes we forget to talk about field to fork, man, and that's one of our favorite parts.
Yeah, man.
So Cameron, our very own Cameron Hamilton, joining in. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Gator Paul says, all good. Got about 12 inches of rain. Put the stop to the coyote hunt. Yeah, I'd say 12 inches of rain put a damper on things.
Them coyotes are breathing through a straw right now like Rambo.
That's right. That's right. So we got I want to get to our guests pretty quick. We want to talk. We got a lot. I mean, we can sit and talk for hours about coyotes or about elk hunting, about coyotes, about all this stuff. I want to get to our guests pretty quick. First of all, big shout out to our buddy Brian from Trapline Beard Oil. Of course, Matt got the beard shining and profiling right there. Folks, if you're not checked out Trapline Beard Oil and all their products, you need to get on it. I mean, you're talking about products made by a hunter and a trapper for hunters and trappers. And Matt and I both have these products, and they are good stuff. Would you agree?
Yeah, I just actually just a couple of days ago got a new shampoo in the mail. A new, how I call them flavors. I don't call them scents, but got me a new flavor of shampoo in the mail. That's Skeeter dope, buddy. So when I do get after them coyotes again, I hopefully run the Skeeters off and run the coyotes to me. But now it's strong. It's strong.
Yep. He's even got some deer flavors as well. So you see in our prior show. So go over and give our buddy Brian at Trapline Beard Oil a follow and a like, and good stuff coming out of there. And that also brings us to the Bignell Bunch brag board. Bignell Bunch Outdoors. Go over and get in line. If you're looking for some positivity, looking for all things faith, farming, family, and the outdoors, and even hunting, this is the place to do it at right here. And I'll tell you, man, we've drawn some blanks in the coyote woods. You've laid the hammer to those old coyotes. And then there's a lot of transition. People don't realize how much, how much science, biology, all the things that go in to coyote hunting. When we think about coyotes, I always think about old Wile E. Coyote and how dumb he is after the old road runner. Them old coyotes aren't dumb.
No, far from it, buddy. Far from it.
So no harvest this week on the Bignell Bunch brag board, but we do have something to brag about. And I want to brag about this right here. This little man right here, Pawpaw's boy right here, little Cason Thomas right here. And what are we bragging about? Look there. He don't just get around on 2 feet. He's standing on 1 foot.
Yeah.
And that's right.
That's old Buck right there, buddy. He decided he was going to walk one day, and the next day he was walking. I mean, just like that. But me and him's pretty good buddies. I tell you what, he's not much of a farm hand yet. you know, we get out there on that tractor and we mash the grass down with them tires, and he falls asleep just immediately. That's what I tell him. I ask him all the time. He gets tired. I say, you ready to go for a tractor ride and mash the grass down? Because I know it about 200 yards later, he's going to be asleep. So he's not much of a farmhand yet, but he's working on imitating the old Fox Pro coyote calls.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
I'm sure we'll have a video of that here pretty soon, but he's straight up coyote hunter and he don't even know it yet.
That's exactly right. No doubt. Good deal. Gator Paul says he wants to know if that Skeeter dope works.
Okay.
Let him know.
This, it smells just like a citronella candle, and you can't deny that.
That's right.
So when I get out there in the woods, I'll let you know if it fends off the biters.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff Bay, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you and yours is doing well, man. Thanks for tuning in from West Virginia. Little Casing right there, Bay. We love you, man. We'll see you soon. Uncle Tia, see you soon. So, all right, man. We got to get down to business here. We got our special guest tonight. We have got Gary Grant from Grace Elk Outfitters. Hey, Gary, man, thanks for tuning in, brother, and being with us.
Glad to be here. Thanks. It's always an honor, always a good time. You and Matt are brothers, man. I love it.
That's right, son. Brothers from another mother. And I tell you, man, when I look out across the elk world and I need some advice, I need some things. I mean, these couple folks I go to, man, and you my big brother in that whole realm of things. So I appreciate you very much.
Yeah, I probably got a little age on you, a little gray hair, but
knowledge. It's knowledge.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's right, man.
Hey,
Look
Gary, I tell my wife all the time, I didn't have none of this gray in my beard when she first come around. And that's true.
Yeah. First thing right off the bat, Gary, we want to get out there to everybody watching tonight. If we've got a hunter, especially in Unit 2 or Unit 3, we made we shared your post. I want everybody to know that you are Mr. Unit 2 and 3. And if anybody needs anything from guided, semi-guided, place to stay, whatever, they need to give Grace Elk Outfitters a call. Man, we've worked great together over the years. I love it. We bounce back and forth off one another. And I just tell you, you can have that Unit 2 and Unit 3.
Well, hey, I'm excited for you guys to come down, especially when you said you're going to cook. That's going to be great, man.
I can cook, Gary. I
know Matt's a good cook. I can look at him and tell.
I'm not very good at walking uphill, but I'm good cook.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
I walk better downhill.
It's the trifecta, man. We've got a great elk hunter in you. We got a great cook in him and a good eater right here.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But very excited, man.
And it goes the other way too. You guys are in the north and you're in the most northern part of the elk units, and I'm in the most southern part of the elk units. And I just, man, as KEGA, we have really tried to get that changed on that unit draw. There's no other state in the United States that has this system that they've implemented. You either, like Colorado, Wyoming, wherever, you apply for a unit tag and you either get that unit or that set of units. Some of the archery tags or some of the rifle tags are unit specific, and it may be multiples. You either get that tag or you don't. And then, I won't harp on it too much, but to ask elk hunters to be notified May the 11th and then basically sit on their hands until July 15th and waste valuable time scouting, getting permission, finding elk, etc. Nobody knows where they're going to hunt. So, here we are as a guide service. We lost several people to the unit draw, and thankfully you guys were able to pick some of those up. And some of the other KEGA guys were able to pick some of them up. But, now we have holes in our schedule, and we only got 7 weeks to try to hunt and have a good time and meet people. So, yeah, we've got openings for bull archery, and bull rifle, and a couple for cow.
Yeah. And man, we tell people all the time, and I know you do too, Gary. They look at us as outfitters and guides, and they think, oh, those guys are just wanting to make a dollar. That's not the case. That
No,
is not the case. We want everybody to be successful. Success on all hands in all guide services and all outfitters. If one has success, we all have success.
that's the way I
And
look at it too.
and this program, man, it's been a roller coaster, and we need all the positivity that we can. 32%, 32% success rate last year. Now, the majority of that, the overwhelming majority of that is through a guide service. If you want to do it yourself hunt, you help them, I help them, Matt helps them. It's all, we lay the facts out there, and you do with it what you will. But if you want to put the highest percentage of success in your table, on your table, and it's no guarantee, going with a reputable guide service is the way to do it.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So, man, I tell you, I want to get into some elk, Gary, but before we do that, I want you to tell us a little bit about Gary. Where you from, man? How'd you get started into hunting, and how'd you get started into elk?
Okay, thanks. Pretty simple. I started squirrel hunting when I was a very young man, probably 7 or 8 years old. My dad would take me out. I had a younger brother, and we learned how to spot and stalk squirrels. And man, you can learn a wealth of information by applying yourself to spot and stalk, especially in August and September when the leaves are still on, and you try to basically outfox those squirrels. And we normally used a shotgun when the foliage was on real heavy, and then we used 22s, later on, which made it more of a challenge. And we ate squirrels, and we had friends and grandfathers and everybody that ate squirrels, and it was absolutely great. And then later on, as I got older, we started getting more deer and turkeys around here, and I started getting into big game hunting. And I just happened to get a job where I was outdoors all the time. I was a forest ranger for the state of Kentucky most of my career. Now, I will say that November was a very tough time to deer hunt for me because I was fighting wildland fires here in Harlan, Bell, and the surrounding counties. So I missed out on a lot of good rut hunting, in short. But as time went on, we had the elk release. I actually watched one of the first couple of tractor trailer loads of elk be released over on Straight Creek, where our campground is now, less than a mile up on top of the hill from our campground. And it was absolutely fantastic to be able to be a part of that. And so I started guiding about 18 years ago, and I went to multiple guides around 2010. So that's 14 years ago. The name Grace Elk Outfitters is faith-based. I got saved when I was 21, and most of my guides are Christians. We don't allow alcohol at camp while we're hunting. And we all try to carry ourselves according to the 10 Commandments in the Bible and try to treat people good, man. I tell you, man, with what we do, I feel like it's 50% ministry and networking. And my wife and daughter and I, my daughter's 13, my wife and her both, we have hunted and we've killed deer all over the state of Kentucky because of this guide service. We also do some bear hunts, and we do free youth hunts for deer, and that's a lot of fun. We've helped, I think, 9 children kill their first deer ever, and the families were super cool and ate them and really introduced them to deer meat. We've introduced some of them to bear meat, and everybody's kind of like, ooh, it's bear meat's awesome, boys. I mean, it's like ribeye steak on the grill. My wife and I and daughter were hooked on it. We've been eating bear. My friend harvested a really nice bear in archery season last year, and I helped him skin it in the yard here for a awesome mount, and he gave me a ton of meat. So we've been eating it like crazy. But I really enjoy the outdoors. Love going to Colorado out west to hunt elk myself when I get the opportunity to. Of course, guiding here interferes with that a little bit, but that's okay. I can work around it most of the time, and just really, really enjoy the outdoors, man. It's to me, being in the outdoors like being in church.
Yeah. You can find a lot of things in the outdoors, and I don't mean just critters. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Justin Tinsley says, Gary, bear meat is like Matt saying coyote is good to eat. So I guess Justin's trying to say bear is no good.
Coyote is good to eat, boys. I got proof. I got people that back me up on that. I cooked it for them.
Yeah, I wish I could share some pictures of some steaks with you right here, Trinity. I cooked some steaks on the grill, and if I didn't tell you any different, you'd swear they were USDA prime ribeye. And you talking about good.
One of the best protein meals I ever had in my life was 10 and a half hours in Ontario, Canada, in the middle of nowhere. And I basically had bear stroganoff from the outfitter. And he went around and gathered scraps off of everybody's harvested bear and made bear stroganoff. And let me tell you, man, it was some of the best eating in the world.
We eat the ground in tacos, burritos, chili. We eat like it's a bear vegetable stew, and then I don't know, man. One of our favorite things is we got 17 quarts of oil off that bear, and she makes everything with it. I make pancakes in the morning. She makes cakes with it. I mean, I'm telling you, boys, that secret gets out, there's going to be a lot more people hunting bears.
I heard that. Our buddy John Pruitt said bear is delicious. Bear spaghetti.
Right on.
Yeah.
Do you want me to send you a picture of that smoked coyote so you can see how it is?
Yeah, send it to me. I'll get it to Gary. I'll try to get it on the show tonight if I can.
I don't know if you want to put it on the show.
Well, maybe I won't. Maybe we don't want to get took off the.
But I just want everybody to know that it's legit.
Yeah, it's legit. It is very. It's very pictures to back it up. Man, I want to kind of go through this thing. So we're in August the 6th. Justin said, Matt, I don't need to throw up.
Justin, he wouldn't eat a good ribeye if you fed it to him. He's picky, bud. Yeah. Picky.
Gary, it's August the 6th. I want to start out by what should hunters be doing at this very minute. I know you talk to hunters, I talk to hunters. We talk about practice tips. What should those elk hunters, we've got archery hunters, we've got bull firearm hunters and cow firearm hunters, late season archery hunters. What should those hunters be doing right now?
Trinity, one of the number one things I recommend all my people that I talk to is that they get in the best cardiovascular condition that their doctor recommends. I mean, I can't emphasize it enough. I have guys that come to camp and they've jogged a mile, and I say, well, how long did it take you? Well, probably about 18 or 20 minutes. And I'm like, and then they don't understand why they're gassing out when we get on these inclines that are 50 degrees slope. And then on top of that, it's usually an all-day adventure. We tell our people that we hike typically 2 to 10 miles a day. Now, it may not be 10 miles all at once, and we try to hunt as horizontal as possible. But getting in shape is one of the number one things. And not only physical shape, but emotional and mental shape, because elk hunting is a roller coaster ride. It's ups and downs and ups and downs. You get close, you get no shot. And it's very taxing, from that standpoint. And it's nothing like deer hunting, You sit in a stand, you play on your phone, you read a book or whatever, a deer pops out, you shoot it. Elk hunting's nothing like that. And people don't understand, I've had guys say, well, I can only hunt 3 days archery, and I'm like, well, I don't really like to book that, but I will. And we booked 3 days archery, and they at the end of the third day, you know, we've saw a few elk. We haven't really had them in bow range. They haven't cooperated. And they're like, I really thought we'd get it done in 3 days. I can always kill deer in 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's just not that way. I've heard a lot of guys on podcasts and stuff talk about, you know, wilderness hunting, and you could take the top physical athlete specimen in the world, but if he gets out in the Alaska wilderness and he loses it up here, his body conditioning is no good. And so that's another thing, is emotional fitness. And, you know, whatever that means for you, if that means just stressing yourself out, like through work and working out, you need to make a run of about 5, 6, 7 days in a row to test yourself. Some 15, 18-hour days. That way you can see if you're going to be wore out or not, if you're going to be able to go. Because you really shouldn't come into a hunt and hunt 2 days and go, oh, man, can we just glass from the truck? Yeah. And how many times you guys had that to happen?
Yeah, lots.
Yeah. And people get wore out emotionally and mentally, the concentration that it takes. You know,
This is what I tell them, Gary. You wait, you know, 1 entry, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years to get this tag, and you hunt days for 30-second opportunity.
that's right. That's right.
You walk miles and miles for a 30-second opportunity. You're on an emotional roller coaster for a 30-second opportunity, and your state, your well-being, when you come to that, I've seen world-class hunters, some killers. See, that's the problem. There's a difference between being a hunter and a killer. We talk about in the honeybee world all the time. There's honeybee havers and there's honeybee keepers. And there's a big difference. Yeah. So, you know, it's real important that people realize that there's going to be a lot of emotions. There's going to be a lot of things not go your way. And, you know, you got to be ready when that time comes. You got to be set. You got to be ready on all levels.
That's right. So, you know, the next step, I guess, would be to familiarize yourself with elk calls if you're trying to do this yourself. And it's not only how you call, but it can also be when you call and how much you call. This light is absolutely aggravating me to death.
That's okay.
What's going on there? But anyway, and then, you know, familiarize yourself with elk habits and what they do. I know that down here, and you probably have this too, elk will move as much as 40 miles in 3 days in a loop.
Yeah.
And I know that we've had tagged cows that spent their summer in Johnson and Pike County, and they were killed down here in Bell County. And the biologists know, you know, they know their whereabouts and where they've been and what they're doing. And so, you know, that's the other part of it. And then, you know, the elk calls, like I said, you know, familiarize yourself with elk calls, and your gear makes a really big difference. I always have a list that I send out to people for possible gear. One of my go-tos is a chest style binocular harness. And I prefer 10 by 42s because of the weight and the size of them. And then inside this, not only do I have my binoculars, but I've got an elk call.
Yeah.
And it's always really close to my face and my hands so that I don't have to move a whole lot to get it out in case an elk sneaks in on us. You know, I use diaphragm a whole lot, but I use these too, a bite style call.
Yeah.
You know, to sound pretty fancy, like a seminar that you might attend, elk's zone of detection is much larger than ours. So when we use binoculars, we can pick out ears and feet and antlers moving, and maybe we're going to see them at 100, 120 yards to the timber before they see us. And then we're able to hide or make a move or make a call or be quiet or whatever it is that we need to do to try to get them in closer.
Yep. That's right. And, you know, man, talking about calls, you know, you don't have to be an expert caller. It's just like in the turkey woods. Some of the best turkey hunters that I've ever been around can't really call that good, but they're a turkey hunter and they use calls as a tool. It's not that they're going out there and they're a turkey caller and they don't know how to set up. They don't know how to, the wind. They don't know how, how to do terrain or any of that. It's pretty important, but just some basic calls. You got the bull, you got the cow. What would be some basic calls or calling techniques you could give people to practice on?
Well, I see a lot of guys on YouTube and channels and stuff that do a whole lot of bugling, and I can say that that's not my preferred method. If the rut's really, really hot and there's several bulls around, then yeah, I may try to use something like that. Or there's several herd bulls with large harems, I might try to use aggressive calling, and I have challenged bulls and they have came in. But a lot of what I do is just cow calling, whether it's this bite style call. This one's by Phelps game calls. You can adjust the O-ring to make it loud, deeper or higher pitch, but mostly it's just your lips. It's and that's just kind of a normal cow vocalization when they're eating or whatever, and if you want to use the diaphragm style call, then and I got to admit, I am a turkey hunter with a diaphragm call. I mean, man, I can yelp, 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 but now when I transitioned, it took me forever to figure out a mew. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And once you got it, it's like riding a bicycle. You got it. But I feel like I can call softer, longer, and squeakier better with this style of call. That's kind of a lost calf, that sharp at the end, a chirp is what some people call it. Just by changing your lips and changing the position of your lips, you're going to you can lower the tone. You can even do it under your breath where it's really, really quiet. I've done that like when I'm in thickets and, we got elk around us and we can't see them real good. They can't see us. See if I can do it. This is pretty cold turkey, boys. I ain't done this since the elk event. I don't even know if you can hear that good, but anyway. Then I don't have my bugle tube, but I can bugle anyway. I mean, it ain't going to sound great, but, and everybody's a big fan of the bugle. And I think the bugle, when you bugle, you can buy the gosh, I can't remember who makes them now, but they have like a squeeze piece that squeezes a reed. Okay, yeah, that's one brand. You can do those. You can also buy the Primos that has the blue, and I use those for a long time, still do on occasion, have the blue diaphragm on it, and you press your lips against. But if you got a really good tube that's big and you use your diaphragm underneath your lungs, your belly, to kind of, I think it sounds the best.
Yep. And
well, what people that out there don't realize is that everything they see on TV, there's always a B-roll. There's an A-roll and a B-roll. And so after that elk's killed, they can go over there on that B-roll and they can blow that bugle call all they want to and make themselves sound good like they called the elk in. But the fact is that all happened after the shot and they're trying to get enough film for video.
That's right.
So, I'm a big. I agree 100% with Gary. I mean it's been a while since I've actually guided elk. I'm more behind the scenes these days, but when I was hunting and when I was out there in the field, the bugle call was a backup tool, and that cow mew was always the number one thing.
Yeah, and with the diaphragm too, guys. I've got a double bite style call that's made by Primos, and it's really cool because you can sound like two different cows kind of arguing. And man, cows fight and squabble just like chickens, you know. And but now with the diaphragm, you can sound like multiples just by changing the pitch on your tongue, how you're pressing on it, changing the way you shape your mouth. So you sound like multiple elk, and I think that's always a good thing.
Yep. Now,
Good call.
talk about the old hoochie mama.
Yep, I carry one quite a bit. I think they're really good for being quiet, and I think that they can be very effective. They're not a long range call by any means. I mean, they'll work in an open field pretty good, or something like that. But when you get in timber with elk, a lot of times I think that they don't have a whole lot of range.
Yeah. And for those guys out and gals out there that say, I just can't do the diaphragms, I can't do all this other stuff, this is a must. And I mean, I carry one, and we have called elk. Now, I tell you what I do with this. I take this to sound like multiple elk. When I have this out, I usually have another call going. It's real easy. You cover the hole on the end of it, and you push the plunger down, just straight and steady. We'll answer that question in just a minute, Justin. And then graduating from there, like you said, is the bite reed. And there's a ton of these out there.
I'm making the bull crazy. That's what that one's called.
I'm making the bull crazy. When you look at this name on this thing, it's IMAKADABULL crazy.
That's a great call.
As my good buddy Adam McGuire said, I'm making the bull crazy. And you can get a little more realism out of that than you can the hoochie mama. So, why are you smiling like a possum with persimmon in its mouth, man?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like y'all are a commercial, like an infomercial. The QVC channel trying to sell elk calls.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
Call now, and we'll double your order.
1-888-555. Hey. Yep, I got about the same one, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, they won't sponsor me. What's up with that? You glunking. Quit your glunking.
Quit your glunking. I would say 90% of elk hunters don't even know what that is.
Well, it's not a sound that everyone gets to hear, Randy.
I don't think that's the same, big guy.
That's I've heard, I can't remember how many vocalizations elk actually have. I want to say it's 40. And I have heard that glunk, and it's the weirdest thing. It's like a tom turkey drumming. You got to be close and tight, but man, you can flat dab hear it.
Yeah, that's right. And you don't get to hear it all the time. I've actually used it to seal some deals on some archery.
Yep.
And but it's not something you're gonna do all the time. We say you're gonna talk about that all day. Talk about this is I got this whenever they first come out. This is the metal tube. And here's one of the Primos tubes. It's got the reed in the end of it where you don't have to pack a diaphragm. It's got that where you use your lip.
Yep, I use those. Yep. Still got a couple of those. I got a little bitty one in my pack. Just
pack bugle. The pack bugle.
Yeah.
This thing's got like a tunable. I mean, there's all kinds of gimmicks. I'm going to tell you the best elk bugle I ever heard was an oil funnel.
I believe it.
And you know who it is.
Yeah.
Bob Hunt.
Yep. He's got some years on us. He's got more gray hair than we do, don't he?
I put Bob Hunt against the best bugler in the United States.
Yep. He's good.
Sure. Yeah. And here's a bugle.
sound good.
Yeah, and don't take a whole lot. The thing that I've seen in the transition over the years, as the Kentucky elk hunting has changed a little bit, I don't get as aggressive with that bugle anymore.
No.
I want to sound like the wimpiest bull in the woods. I want to sound like a unicorn. I mean, I got like a nub on this side, and I got just like an open. Instead of an open season deer, the cartoon, I'm an open season elk. And that's all I'm going to give them, man. And
yeah, that's a good call.
I
do the same thing, Trinity. I'll never forget one time I had a client with me, and we ran into a guy that's a Kiga guy now, and I really like him a whole lot. But we ended up this big long ridge and set of ridges. We came in on like the south end. They came in from the north end, and we ended up pinching some elk in the middle. And my client, we had a 5x5 at 20 yards, and he didn't want to kill it. And so we were kind of walking back out, and we ran into that other Kiga guy, and he was like, "Y'all see anything?" I said, "Well, yeah, he passed on a small bull." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He said, "Well, that must have been what we heard bugling." It was me.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Justin says, "Are you all seeing that a lot of elk over the years have gotten call shy in certain places, kind of like public land turkeys? If so, do you recommend calling softer and less than normal?" Gary?
Yes, and yes.
Yeah,
I would say so.
What do you think, Matt?
Yep. Yeah, like you said, start sounding like a satellite bull and not a herd bull.
Yeah.
And the more you can do that, the fact is that the population isn't, I'm not going to say it's not there, but the population isn't as condensed as it was 15 years ago. And, 15, 20 years ago, you could throw out a deep bugle at them and really start some fights. And now if you're going to start some fights or start creating some curiosity from some bigger bulls, you better start throwing in some satellite sounds instead of herd sounds.
Yep, I agree. You can overcall. I mean, the problem is that I see is that, like we've already touched on, these elk, it don't seem that these elk are as vocal as they used to be. Instead of these big, large numbers, you've got pockets, and you really got to be. But now a cow call, even during cow season, a cow call has been the difference between there's elk here and there's no elk here, even in cow season. And moving away from calls, I'll tell you something else we've done. Now, we've not done a whole lot of it over the years, but I have to be honest with you, man. We've used decoys.
Yep.
And we've had some success out of decoys. One of my favorite hunts was from a decoy, and a big old bull come down, and I mean, he was ready to rock. And this one is from that one's from Global Decoys. But this one is from turkeyfan.com. This is the Elk Fan by Killer Gear. And she's pretty big. You can actually walk behind her, and she folds up like an umbrella. So, I mean, I'm a big old guy, and you can see that.
Yeah, we use some decoys like that too, Trinity and Matt. We got some really cool guy, veteran owned. It's called Ultimate Predator Gear. And really good people to talk to. They gave us discounts right off the bat, and I ordered all my guides a decoy. It was a shoot-through decoy with a cow, so you can attach it to a bow, and you just wouldn't believe how that works in bow season. Of course, I wouldn't do it in rifle season.
No,
back, Trendy, if you remember back when I was guiding, I'd wear that cowboy hat, dark brown, and so that cowboy hat would turn up on the ends, almost look like cow ears.
Yeah.
And then it come down. My beard was a little bit longer at the time. And so I had that dark auburn beard long. And son, I could walk up and peek up over them hills, and there'd be cows standing right there 20, 30 yards and just stare at me like I was another cow because of the shape of that cowboy hat and the color of my beard coming down.
Yep.
And maybe they were a little stupider 15 years ago too.
You remember the cow archery hunt that we had for a while?
Yeah.
Cow archery tags. I had a guy one time that was a great archery hunter, and it was when I'd first gotten those decoys, and we had a group of a mixed group of elk, spikes, and cows, and calves, and probably 20 of them that were out on this big long ridge. And he was trying to close bow range, and I said, buddy, put this on the front of your bow, and when they raise their heads up, stop, and when they put their heads back down eating acorns, you move. And he followed instructions perfect. He was a full-time Army guy. He'd done a lot of recon stuff in the service and was in shape. And it took him probably 45 minutes to go 100 yards. And he got to about 50 yards of this one group. And he happened to look over the hill to his left. And there's another group that was down on a little bench just about 40 yards away feeding. And one was the prize double ear tag original release cow from 1990s. So she's 15, 20-year-old girl, So he turns his bow toward her, and she's staring at him. Y'all ever been stared down by a cow for 14 minutes? I have.
Yeah.
They're smart.
They're very smart.
So she starts staring at him, and he turns that toward her. She just goes back to feeding. Whack. He whacks her. So, that kind of tactic can really work to your favor.
Yep. Just another weapon in the arsenal.
That's it.
I tell everybody about practicing, shoot. If you're archery hunting, you need to be pounding target. If you're, on the gun range, you need to be shooting. The biggest thing, we could sit here and have a whole show on shooting, but the biggest thing for me and what I tell my hunters are the broadheads in archery, your arrow setup in archery, because everybody wants light and fast. They want them pin gaps like this. That's a big no-no. And then with ammo, you want something with a good ballistic coefficient. Don't throw a Volkswagen at them. Throw a D11 at them.
Yeah,
and
I'm going bonded. And I'm going more than 170 grains.
Yeah.
Now, normally, like for bull rifle, we won't let people shoot anything less than a 7mm rim mag. I had a guy with a 270 one time and 150 core locks, shot a 340 class bull 7 times to get it on the ground.
At least he got it on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, that was 2 days later. We had to track that thing, and it was pins and needles, man, because I don't want to lose nothing. And then something else too, like around 400 grains on an arrow setup. I like fixed broadheads personally. I don't like expandables at all. There we go. Justin's got this figured out.
Yeah.
And then what I'll say too is, Trinity and Matt, that, we do long range shooting, and what I like for a regular duplex reticle is I like a military style maximum point blank range sight in. And what you do is you sight your rifle in about 4 inches high at 100 yards. And what that does is that makes that bullet rise up to about 320, and it falls back down it rises 5 inches to about 320, almost any caliber. And then it falls to about 5 inches low at about 380 or 400. And that makes you in the kill zone on an elk the entire time. All you have to do is hold center of the kill zone, and you're going to get lungs.
No.
So
good deal. That's good. That's good. The information. Justin said, I actually saw a guy hunting with a 7mm 08. We actually have, we've had kids take them with 7mm 08s.
Yeah, that's fine for a kid, but um, I had a guy that was a multimillionaire come in here and thought that was a good caliber to bull elk hunt with. And I don't like tracking. I don't know about you all. I like for animals to fall within eyesight of me.
Yeah.
I like to watch them go down and then give them 30 minutes before I walk over and look at them and keep shooting them until they fall.
A magnum animal deserves a magnum caliber.
I agree.
Yeah.
My go-to is 300 Win Mag, 190 Accubon Nozzlers. I love Accubon Nozzlers. I've got pictures I can send you guys of mushroom bullets that were perfect, probably retained 95% of their weight, and we pulled them out of the hide on the other side. It looked like a knot sticking up on the other shoulder.
Yeah.
So,
as bigger caliber as you can take, and good ammo. I tell everybody, listen, practice all summer long with the cheapest stuff you can find, and then that last month, make sure you got enough ammo to practice with. Buy it early on of the good stuff. Make sure you're honed in, you fine tune that rifle into what you're going to hunt with, and make sure, because like I said, we've seen these things take 3 shots from a 375 and keep on trucking.
That's right. So let me tell you one quick thing about ammo. We did the long range stuff. We were shooting a 18-inch gong at 800 yards. And my friend is an excellent shot. He's an engineer. He had sighted in with some Winchester white box 180s. Hey, there's Bub Tackett. Cool. And he was shooting, and he shot fine at 400 and 600. But then when he went to 800, I was spotting for him, and I made the call. He said, well, let me dial my rifle. And he dialed his rifle, Night Force scope. It was a Savage Stealth with the fancy stock, like a chassis, and he's a great shot with it. He shoots like 1 foot off that target to the right. So, you're talking 19, 20 inches high into the right. And I said, 20 inches high right at 2 o'clock. He says, okay. He said, I'm going to hold low left. He shoots low. He holds low left, and he shoots low right. And I said, whoa. I said, do you think you need to dial maybe or something? And so he dialed up a couple, and he pulls the trigger in. It's high left. And he never could hit the target. I said, wait, what ammo are you shooting? He said, the Winchester white box. I said, ain't you got some Nosler? He said, yeah. I said, get the Nosler. He said, you think that'll make a difference? I said, go back to your original call on your ballistic app. He dials back down, center, again, center, again, center. He shot a 4-inch group at 800 yards.
Well,
that's saying something.
It makes it all the difference in the world. That's right.
Yeah, at those long distances, it definitely does.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've kind of talked about getting in shape, and the last thing about shooting, I tell everybody, look, it's good if you're shooting crossbow, if you're shooting a gun, you gotta have a good set of shooting sticks. If you're shooting your bow, get everything in line to where you want it. Bench rest, shoot, bench rest, sighting. Once you get it dialed in, it's time to get off the bench, get out of the chair, get on the sticks. You're probably going to be standing. You're probably going to be uncomfortable. Do you some laps around the house. Do you some laps around the range, some push-ups, some jumping jacks. Get that old heart rate elevated, and then start shooting off your sticks. It does you no good. You can put 1,000 yards down range off of a bench. It does you no good.
I've got a great story to tell you. I had a guy that shot with me last year out to 800 yards, and that's about all his equipment would allow him to do. He had a very, very nice Leopold scope with no now my mind went blank. The adjustment on the side that makes the reticle stay still, what's it called?
You've asked me too fast.
I can't believe I can't think of this. Anyway, it didn't have one of those. So his max was about 500 yards. So he ends up shooting in the class. He goes home. He buys a new scope. and he comes back to hunt. When he shot with me, it flat paid off. He killed a 7x6 at 550 yards from one ridge to the next. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it was a great bull. And now there's no such thing as fast long range shooting. He took 15 or 20 minutes, snapped his gun several times to make sure he was still and 100% ready to make a kill shot on that elk. And it was bedded. And when he hit it, bloop, it rolled over.
This was an Amish boy, wasn't it?
Yep. How'd you know?
Because I met him the other day.
Did you really? Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, he's good friends with some customers of mine. And
cool.
We went over and seen his elk.
Yep.
Now, this has been a while since I seen him. It was right after he got back last year.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So he still had the rack with the skull cap and everything that he brought back. So, yep. I was thinking he went with you, and I couldn't remember, but when you told the story there, I definitely remember who it was now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, we've talked about, conditioning. We've talked about calling. We've talked about shooting. We've talked about some components. I mean, we go through this stuff all night. If you do it yourself, you need to make sure you're scouting as much as you can. Another thing that we get a lot of time, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to pull no punch. It irritates the crap out of me. You get these guys and gals that come in here, and they'll bring buddies with them, and they've been out west, and they've done this, and they've done that, and they get here, and they think they know everything about elk hunting. And they've never hunted in Kentucky. And y'all always tell all of our hunters, look, we can learn from you, you learn from us, but at the end of the day, we got the final say. That's why you hired us, whatever. This ain't Colorado. This isn't Montana. This isn't Wyoming, And so don't guide the guide. Don't guide the guide.
Yeah.
Be part of the solution. Don't be a problem. That's a big one. Slow down and enjoy the hunt. If you're coming for a harvest, if that's the number one agenda on your books, from last year, there's about a 68% chance you're going to go home disappointed.
Man, I hate to say it this way, Trinity, but I don't even like book people that talk to me like that.
Yep.
I really don't, man. I don't care to talk about, what our harvest rate is, percentage rate, and I don't care to talk about trophy size. And that's fine. But when you're all about the kill, that's not what I'm here for. I drive to Colorado every chance I get with a bow in my hand with very little or no expectation of ever even drawing that bow.
Yeah.
Go for the hunt, man.
That's right. So, we put as many odds in your favor as we possibly can, and that's what we're here for. But now there's no guarantees. What would you say? We can sit here and talk another 3 hours, but what would you say past what we've talked about? What would be some good advice that you would give hunters?
I would probably try to listen to podcasts, read all that I could about how elk are and what they do, their behaviors. I've had clients with archery especially that didn't trust my rangefinder and they want to range them themselves. Well, typically you've got 3 to 5 seconds before an elk bolts. Once they figure out that cow's not standing there or they don't smell a cow or whatever, they're going to go. And so in order to kill one, a lot of times, I don't want to say that you don't range, but your guide usually ranges for you. And then knowing your bow, knowing your equipment. I know way back, I killed a cow at about 38 yards and I boogered several cows I had a cow tag and I boogered several of them trying to range them. And finally, I said, look, I've got a super fast bow. If I put my 40-yard pin on the vitals, right in the middle of the vitals, at 50 yards, I'm 3 inches low. And at 30 yards, I'm 3 or 4 inches high. So pull the trigger, And so that's how I ended up killing one, was by doing that. And then, it's really hard to judge yardage on an elk, especially when they're moving. So that's something that's, when you're in a tree stand, you got all the time in the world. You kill a buck out of a tree stand, you got all the time in the world to range that tree and that poplar and that oak. And the ranges, you might even write them down on something on your tree stand. I've done that. But elk is just entirely different. It's so fluid and it's always moving. It's always changing. So you got to really know your equipment. And don't change your equipment right before the hunt. I've had hunters come in and they change their bolt and their broadhead, or their arrow and their broadhead right before they come to camp. And I'm like, what are you thinking,
Yeah.
And we got there to shoot and they can't hit the broadside of a black barn with a red cow, or vice versa, however you say that.
Yeah. Matt, what advice would you give?
Well, just touching on what he said about not changing the equipment. TJ changed every bit of his equipment the night before I took him on that bull hunt, but ended up killing that bull at 61 yards. But if we're talking do it yourself, I would have different advice. If we're talking using a guide, I would go against a lot of what you just said, Gary. I wouldn't listen to anything. I would show up knowing how to shoot, being comfortable with my equipment.
Yeah.
Being comfortable with my ability to shoot. And then I wouldn't question a darn thing that my guide said.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
So, that would be my advice, is be comfortable with what you show up with, but after that, just enjoy being here. And if your guide says shoot, don't question, just shoot. I mean, that's how it is. Because guys that used to pass up 275 bulls so that they could find a 300 bull, or pass up a 300 bull so they could find a 325 bull, those days are over.
Yeah.
And
don't pass on the first day what you'd shoot on the last day.
And so, enjoy being here, enjoy what Eastern Kentucky has to offer. And the more that you watch on TV and the more podcasts you listen to and the more you think you know and the more you think you're learning, you are really hindering your opportunity to have an enjoyable experience and be successful, I think.
But it definitely ain't like on TV. It can be.
No.
But it ain't a lot.
And don't listen to the guy that was down here pre-2012.
Oh, no.
Oh, I know. My uncle got drawn back in 2009 or 2010, and he's down there. But that you need to look at the expiration date on your info, because it's not the same. Yeah, that's for sure. My biggest thing is that you need to understand what you're dealing with. You're going to be tested beyond your limits. There are going to be some folks go out there, and in the first little bit, they're going to harvest. But the overwhelming majority is going to hunt the allotted amount of time they have. Do it yourself or with a guide, and you may not see them now. In doing so, one, you're the most important piece of the hunt. And your ability is the most. And you need to have that good communication. Now, us as guides are here to push you, to your limits or even a little bit beyond, and to have that gap between maybe, not having success and success. That's our job, is to be able to put everything in your favor to be able to bridge that gap. But if your guide or your outfitter is if it's too much, if what's going on, if you do all these things, A, B, C, D, E, F, and when you get to that shot, you're not able to make it or make it ethically or whatever else, you've done nobody any good. So if you need to slow down, if you need to whatever, you need to establish that line of communication with your guy, and a good outfitter and a good guide will listen to you.
That's right.
You know,
To that tune, I'll never forget one time we did this big long stalk on some cows. It was cow rifle season, probably been 10 years ago. And we got this hunter in position, and then it kind of came down to, well, you probably ought to go alone. And it was steep and rough and nasty. And he goes out there, and we can see the cows and we can see him, and he pulls the trigger and misses. Then when we get to him, he goes, man, I just had double knee replacement. I'm glad they held up good.
Yeah. We had a guy fall over, man. We had a guy thought he was dead, thought he had a heart attack. Oh. And in our safety talk, I tell everybody, if you've got anything, you need to express. You don't have to tell the group, but you need to tell the guy. And guy has some diabetic issues and thought he was dead. We thought he was dead. But anyway, that's a good point, man. You know, you need to bring that up, and you need, you know, guiding for elk is so intimate between hunter and guide. It's not like we're taking you out there and setting you out. What, you know, I mean, you're right there and you're side by side, hopefully side by side for the duration of that hunt. So don't be afraid to communicate. If your guide's not listening to you, whatever else, they're probably not a very good guide. So
I always say, you know, there's probably only two other people in the entire world that want to see you kill one more than the guide, and that's you and your wife.
That's right. That's right.
You know, so that's how, and it's really cool, man, because, you know, I talk to my guides weekly or monthly, and like, oh yeah, I talked to so-and-so from 2 years ago. He's wanting us to come up and hunt, or wanting us to come up and fish, or he's going to come down here and bear hunt, you know, whatever. So it's really neat to form good relationships with like-minded people.
That's right. That's right. Common denominator. You know, and the last thing is that, you know, elk hunting is so dynamic. It is real easy to make a mishap and get hurt.
Yep.
You cannot be cautious enough. That's the reason you need to slow down. When you get these things down on the ground, there's nothing fast. Nothing fast.
No.
Even if you're backing the truck to that animal, there's nothing fast when it comes to recovery.
Yep.
So you might as well slow your roll, take a few deep breaths, and just work, don't worry. I'm watching a TV series right now, and that's in it, and I love it. Work, don't worry. Just work.
I'll tell you 2 incidents that I know of. A young man was guiding for elk, broke his femur. Now think about that. And
what good is he to anybody at that point?
Look, he's a liability. And look what a wilderness area we're in. You need to have Onyx Hunt, download maps. You need a GPS with maps. And I recommend this for the guys that are fully guided, because my phone might tear up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, usually I know my way around, but you never know. Maybe I'm unconscious and you got to find the way out. You know, you never know.
That's
and
right.
Then I know of another guy that shot a really nice bull and fell on the antler. Almost got his femoral artery. And he was in the hospital with an infection and everything, because it went all the way to the bone. You know, so it's easy to get hurt.
Yeah,
that's why I was smiling. Trend is that husband and wife shot that elk and it rode down the hill, and the antlers stuck in the ground, and the body twisted the neck, so it was like a twisted rubber band.
Ooh.
So he run up there and he grabbed them antlers and he jerked and jerked and jerked, and when he finally got them to pop loose on the ground, I thought he was going to throw him off the cliff.
Catapult, son. Yeah. So, listen. I don't care how many elk you've killed. Listen. Work together. No time to be a hero. Listen. Don't guide the guide. Take your time and enjoy your hunt. Man, I tell you what, Gary, I love talking elk hunting, dude. I love it. I can sit and talk for days and days and days, man. You know, you're talking about a lot of experience, just sitting right here on this show tonight. And I'm looking forward to another one. It is going to be, I think it's going to be a good year. It's going to be tough. Anybody coming down here, it's no walk in the park. You are going to be tested.
We'll have to work for it. I guarantee it.
That's right.
We're going to scout a lot and try to make sure we know where elk are, and hopefully they stay put, and hopefully we can get the wind right and get in position to get people some shots,
That's right. Gary, before we close out, man, on elk, I want to touch a little bit. You offer bear hunts.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
We are loaded with bears. You can't bait in Kentucky. So whole lot of what we do is we try to put tree stands where we know they're feeding, like on acorns for the archery season in October, particularly, and in low gaps and pathways. And man, it's a lot of fun. Archery, anything's a lot of fun to me, but archery, fishing, it doesn't matter. Bow fishing, but yeah, we've had a lot of friends. This is really our first year offering a bear hunt. We've played around with clients, and usually we've had bad weather. We had a quota forever, so the season would close in one day, and for Harlan County, for Zone 1's Harlan, Bell, and Letcher, and so that wasn't any fun. So we just kind of dropped that idea until Kentucky came on board with a 3-day Zone 1 hunt. And so now we feel really, really good about our chances for some harvest this year. And man, bears, Trinity, I can't tell you how many times I've caught a bear in with a cow elk call. Yeah, see you, Justin. With a cow elk call. In the woods, in fields, in thickets, and y'all may differ from me, but I don't think they're coming there to say hi. You
mean to tell me that there may be some relationship between elk and black bear, Gary?
Absolutely.
Huh.
Yep.
That's a talk for a different day, big guy.
It is. But
bear population, elk population.
Ah,
wow. Hey. You must have a doctor's degree in biology.
I didn't say that, Gary.
But no, but yeah, I mean, we call them in, so, and big ones. I've got it on video, man. I can show you, and we're loaded. We're absolutely loaded with bears.
They're not in the pinnacle. You are in the pinnacle. You are in the bear sanctuary.
We are. Yeah. I saw a newspaper clipping from 1984, I believe it was, where Fish and Wildlife was bringing bears here from Virginia in 84. And I remember my dad worked for a mining parts company in 87, and they had a bear come down out of the woods and was looking at them, and I guess it was a fed bear because it acted like it was wanting to be fed and stuff like that. It was a big male, and it's probably 450 pounds. That was in 87, and now, I mean, the most I've ever seen in one day, I think, was 17 here in one day. And I've got friends that ride side by sides and four wheelers for a hobby, and especially in May. In October, they'll see 24 a day.
We need to get Jill. Down there.
Jill don't believe there's any black bears in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And at this point with her success, I don't blame her.
She's come up and she's hunted like the 5% of the population with us up here. She's not had. I had two. Yeah.
Y'all come down here. When y'all come down here in November, I'll drive you around and you'll see garbage strewn up on the hill and down over the riverbanks because they're in everybody's garbage everywhere. And everybody's got them on doorbell cameras and security cameras right now coming up on their porch eating cat food and all that kind. I had 2 friends that had pigs killed, and they live 20 miles apart. They broke into the pig lot and killed their pigs.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got some good taste.
We had 2 people bit by bears last month.
Yeah.
Here.
Gary, what you got in closing, bud?
Buddy, just thankful for the opportunity to be on the show and sit around and chat with you guys. Thankful to be a part of this right here. I'm so grateful, man, to be able to have guided elk this long and be healthy enough to do it and meet great friends and great people like you guys and clients. And, you know, I've had a ton of former clients texting me, hey, how's it going? Been seeing any? Send me some pictures, you know, and all that stuff. And, you know, if you have been drawn, you're blessed.
Yeah.
Like you said, man, enjoy the hunt.
You got something way better than a harvest right off the bat.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you come in and you treat other people with respect and stuff, the chances are you're going to make friends for a lifetime. I just had a friend of mine pass away. He's a Vietnam veteran. He was one of the first elk that I ever killed in my life with someone, guided someone. And he passed away at the age of 81. And man, it was such an honor to be his friend. And that his sons asked me to speak at his funeral. And man, you don't meet people every day like that.
That's right.
I play golf, I fish, I do different things. You don't bond with people like you do when you're chasing elk. I'm telling you, boys.
That's right. We've made friends for a lifetime, man. We've made family members for a lifetime.
Well, I'm a little jealous of the Florida stuff.
Oh, dude. Oh, hey, and it's so funny, dude, how that got started. I didn't even the seed that was planted. My brother, my good friend, John Partang. We didn't even get to take him elk hunting. He went with somebody else. He wishes he went with us now. But dude, I mean, we just hit it off. It was great, man. I mean, we got John, we got Wayne, we got Scott, we got Gator Paul, we got Justin, we got man. And these guys and gals have rolled out the red carpet for us in Florida, man. And we've tried to do the same for them up here, but when we go to Florida, man, they treat us like family. And I tell you, man, we just blessed. We some blessed guys. Nick right here already killed one elk with us, coming back to kill another, says, so can you tell my wife I need to invest in a new rifle?
Yes.
Miss Repka, it is not the buying or the purchasing of a rifle. It is an investment for your future.
That rifle is gold, man. It's only going to go up in value. Come on.
That's right. It's like playing the stock market knowing that it's only going to inflate exponentially. Did that sound good enough?
Yeah, man.
Matt?
I mean, look, if you're going to go to the grocery store, you got to have a shopping cart.
That's right.
If you're going to go elk hunting, you got to have a rifle.
Got to have a grocery getter.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing to me.
New rifle, # grocery getter.
New rifle probably equals elk. Now,
That's
it may not equal elk, but the chances are good.
And listen, Nick, if she don't let you get a new rifle, man, you got to take that old equipment out and you got to go out, man, and you may miss. You may come back broke. She may have to listen to you for months about it. If you only had a new rifle, you were one rifle away from the hunt of a lifetime, man. And what a great wife she is for allowing you to get one, man. What a great woman, Nick. I think we sold it, guys.
One point too, Trinity. I mean, shoot, you get a 300 Win Mag, you don't kill an elk, kill some deer with it. You don't have to crack them.
That's what I deer hunt with, man. 300 short mag all day. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Matt, what you got in closing, buddy?
if you show up and you're not in shape, better bring your aspirin bottle with you.
Oh,
So, that's all I say.
Gary,
Yo,
this guy
Just
right
make sure
here.
you got the aspirin handy.
This guy right here, Gary. That guy right there.
I want everybody to know that I've went coyote hunting at least 50 times, and I went fly fishing last week, and I didn't have a heart attack. So
Yeah.
I am golden, son.
Excluding the elk hunt that he almost died on me, and the mule deer hunt that he almost died on me. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. That's stories for a different day. Folks, that's all we got for you tonight. Gary, thank you so much, man, taking time out of your busy schedule. We look forward to getting down there. Matt and I are going to try to make the trip down here before season, man, and get with you and everything. I love it, man. I love the brotherhood. I love the family. I love the whole deal, man. Thanks for always being there for us and everything you do for us.
all right, same here, buddy.
Appreciate it very much.
Y'all have a good evening.
You too. Folks, remember, if you want to know the creator, just look at the creation, man. We got a lot of things coming up. The 17th, I believe the 17th. The 17th, opening weekend of squirrel season. Really the big kickoff. August 17th, squirrel season. Make your plans, take those kids hunting out there, man. And also remember, right here at Dewey Lake, we got the annual squirrel hunt camp out put on by the Dewey Lake Fishing Game Club, Floyd County Hunters Ed. Been going on for eons in memory of our good good buddy. So make sure that you come down. Our good buddy Joe Bolton put that on, and love seeing the kids come out. The annual squirrel hunt camp out. Make plans on being right here at Dewey Lake. The 24th, Hunt the 606 Expo at the Appalachian Wireless Arena, Pikeville, Kentucky. You'll be seeing us right there. We'll be set up. Make sure you come on down. September the 1st on a Sunday, going to be opening day of dove season. If you're not dove hunted, folks, it don't hardly cost anything, and you take the family out and enjoy a great day of dove hunting, shooting, sitting around, and just good time in the outdoors. And then September the 7th is opening archery deer, and then September 14th, the coveted opening day of archery elk. Man, a lot of things coming up. So make sure you stay tuned with us. We appreciate you very much. Be sure to tune in here next Tuesday on Iron Outdoors with TLC Outfitters. We'll see you all then. Have a good week.
Eastern Kentucky, where I was raised, where the wildlife and mountains call my name. I was born to hunt, I was born to guide, a camouflage on a rifle by my side. Just good old country boys chasing dreams in the Appalachian Mountains.